Well, let me start off by saying I'm a huge fan of the band.
Thank you very
And
much.
I discovered you guys from a video, the Year Zero video.
Yeah.
So, and you know, the band doesn't even appear in the video till the very end. So,
Who's the dick?
it was the music. Yeah,
Yeah,
it was
okay.
but it was the music that drew me in, you know what I
Okay,
mean? And
cool.
the image was just like an added bonus because, you know, I grew up with Kiss and all of that.
Yeah.
So let me start with my favorite bands have always been Swedish bands.
Oh.
Maybe because my heritage is Ecklund, you know.
Yeah.
But Yngwie Malmsteen.
The funny thing about
Yeah.
you're Brit, Ecklund. It's close to Britt Ecklund, which was a Bond chick once around.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
Well, yeah, I'm sorry.
So, but anyway, so Yngwie Malmsteen, Shotgun Messiah, Backyard Babies, you know, they all put a Swedish spin on their American influences and created something completely original, in my opinion, superior to their heroes. I'm just wondering, what do you think, what is it about Sweden that, you think there's something over there that gives people a better sense of tone? Because that's what it is about those bands, is their tone.
Well, I mean, yeah, I'm sure there's something. I mean, if you look at the per capita, you know, musician, the percentage of the actual, you know, population, we're about like 9 million now, Swedish people. Back then it was maybe 7.5, you know, the bands you're talking about, or 8. But nonetheless, I would say maybe it's because, you know, there's a great vein of escapism in the Swedish people. You want to get away, or, you know.
A lot of winter over there, huh? A lot of cold weather.
Yeah, sure. It's winter. I mean, the hardcore winter is not, you know, that long, but at least not in middle regions in southern Sweden. But I'd say that it's because, you know, there's an escapism. It's you actually do get, well, depending on whether or not you're a boy or a girl, but that's changing right now for the better. You are getting help if you. When I was younger, I mean, we had free rehearsal spaces.
Oh,
and,
yes,
know,
I've heard of that.
I mean,
yeah.
it was, I don't know, and also I think more than anything else, it's got to do with the state of mind.
Well, I noticed even like when Tim Skold went to join Marilyn Manson's tone improved immediately as soon as he had a Swedish man in the band, you know.
Oh, I'm happy to hear that.
So what came first with you guys, the music or the image?
Music.
The music. So then you created the image based on what you were hearing musically?
Yeah. Or yeah, it was. I mean, it's, you know, what was first, but this a couple of songs came first, and then we kind of collided up like.
So you didn't have like a master plan. You just were writing, and then you're like, man, this is a good direction we're headed
No, what
here.
you're asking for is how did the master plan start?
Yeah.
So, well, we do and we don't, but well, I'd say we do, but that one started off with songwriting. You know, first of all, like what to do with these songs, what to do, how to wrap them up, how to present them.
Yeah.
Then a plan involved.
Because they're so unique, you can just throw them in with a mix of other songs, really, because they have
Maybe
such
you
a...
couldn't, maybe you couldn't.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, I'm just glad it worked out this way, you know.
Well, the band really dialed in its sound from the first album to the second. The first was more raw. Now the second record and the new EP are much more streamlined and clean. Was that a conscious decision or just the benefit of better resources?
Yeah, I mean, we've still got our ears, you know. It's not like, you know, just letting it through. But not talking too much about the production per se, but the actual songs. I mean, the songs alter a bit from the first record to the other, and
that's part of the rawness, I think, of the first album, because the...
Exactly. I would say that's very much more to the bone, you know, like and as songwriting evolved in this, you know, in the frame of this band, I mean, there are certain frames around what this band must and can be and shouldn't be, or, you know, everything. So I would say that as we had those demos done for this current record in Symbolism, I would say that production depended on, you know, how this, in what way should we treat the song? Should it be the same sound as the old one? No, it couldn't. It didn't, you know.
So the songs dictated.
Yeah, the songs dictated very much, and also the idea for the second album also dictated how the songs should actually sound and be formed. So it's you know, it's both predetermined and not. But,
it's organic as well. While you're in the process, it kind of unfolds,
it's a living
right?
process too, you know. So yeah, but we certainly had a vision of what the second record should sound and look and feel like. And
it's amazing record.
Yeah, thank you very much.
what is your inspiration for the use of different time signatures? Because I mean, the waltz right there, you don't hear waltz and metal, and the way you divide 8 into 3/3/2 instead of 4/4. You know,
well,
that's
the answer is in your question. You don't hear it.
yeah,
So
yeah.
often, so why
So
not?
what was the inspiration for that? What made you guys? How did you just stumble onto
probably
that?
circus music and all kinds of, just, I mean, the Doors did that too,
Yeah, that's
and
true.
We
Yeah,
listen
you're
kind
right.
of heavily to the Doors, so, well, I don't really know, but I would say that, inspiration for this band, it doesn't come from solely from rock music, classic, it really doesn't. There's a lot of, film music or original scoring, or even, a small little twist in a commercial music, whatever,
Yeah, yeah.
Just
Oh, I know. Yeah,
spark
yeah.
off,
And it probably as soon as you did it, you heard we're onto something
well,
unique.
yeah, I'd say so too.
Yeah. Okay. What about? I love the interplay of the instrumentation. It's much more original and sophisticated than your standard issue rock and roll band. Tell me about the process of arranging the parts. Is there like a classical influence? I guess that's kind of what we're talking about. Lots of different influences, but the parts are there's so much every time I listen to the record, I hear new things. I hear new harmonies, or I hear a melodic bass line, or I notice something new on the drums.
Apart from maybe one or two of the guys in the band, no one reads sheet music, and well, to some extent, but it's not like we were writing music, sheet-wise. And but I think it's all down to having listened a lot to music through the years, and just being able to hear what other bands did, how they what makes it sound great, what makes it sound shit, what makes it sound sloppy, what makes it sound tied, how do I want it, it's just I mean, it's not that hard really to spin off if there's a great riff or great ground structure to just spin off and come up with 14 different melodies for that. That's the fun part. It's deciding which one of those 14 is actually
easy for you, because a lot of bands would just say, "What are you playing?" I'll just they all just play the same thing. You know what I'm saying?
It's their mistake. I don't know, but that's the fun part, and just fiddle around. Like what happens if I do this and that. I mean, it's a very playful process, but nonetheless a very framed one too. Yeah, I know we should. It's like we should make something that sounds like this and that, and how do you commence? I mean, how do you reach that? What to do in order to get that feeling?
Yeah,
so.
I know what you're saying, and then the more obscure your resources are for influence, then it makes rock and roll sound even more original.
But I could name drop probably 10 or 15 songs that we got very influenced from that you wouldn't believe your fucking ears. You would be like, what?
Yeah.
Why do you listen to this? And
That's awesome. Let's see. This is more of a philosophical question, I guess. It's kind of a long one. It's what's below the surface of Ghost. So I'm wondering about your core philosophy. The band seems to approach Satanism much in the spirit of like Anton LaVey, who wrote the Satanic Bible. He was very tongue-in-cheek. But his was a private club for intellectuals, and the dark imagery was used to scare off the imbeciles and the simpletons, right?
I'd love to call ourselves a private club for intellectuals too, but I wouldn't make that
so
for
bold.
everyone. No, but the thing is that the band is not about LaVey's Satanism at all.
Oh, yeah,
No, this is a take on this is the dark side of the Bible. Satan story. That's what it is, and a very, very church-wise one too.
So, see, that's what I'm saying. Is he was a little more tongue-in-cheek. So I was wondering how serious you
Well,
guys
I mean,
were about
the band per se. It's like not saying too much nor too little. It's about like asking someone who made The Exorcist what he believes in. It doesn't really matter what I personally believe in, except for, I could say. In private, I could tell you everything. I don't care, but
that's fine.
But the band per se it's a satanical band, nothing else,
Yeah. Well,
and, but I personally think it's irrelevant because I am this dress right now and nothing else.
Yeah. So, and I was also thinking about like Stanley Kubrick. and how he makes movies that appear to be about one thing on the surface, but then they're really about something completely different. There's always an underlying meaning.
Well, that's one of my all-time favorite directors, and everything. It's each shot is a beautiful painting.
That's right. Yeah,
it's wow.
And you guys are so methodical musically, lyrically, and visually that I just was certain that there's something, there's some level of intellect under there. It's not like the bashing it out.
Let's put it. We read books.
Yeah.
Let's put it that way.
Yeah. I can tell you read some of the same books I do.
I hope so. And I haven't had a TV set for 9 years.
Oh, I'm on like 6 now, so I'm right there with you, dude. I also noticed some, I was interested in trying to find some of the sources of your influence, and I noticed some voodoo influence with like the Zombie Queen.
Mm-hmm.
And I was wondering if the Papa kind of came from like Papa Legba, like the voodoo.
No.
Or if it was more of a papal.
No, it's the name is a pun. No one seems to get that. Because if you're a professor emeritus, you know what that means?
No, I'm not certain.
Emeritus is the title you gain if you retire.
Okay.
And a pope retires when? He dies.
He dies, that's right.
That's it.
All right.
But for the first time in 500 years, the last pope retired for real. So the pun was...
That's right. Well...
the joke wasn't us for a week or two, but...
that whole pope thing.
No, it was a pun, a very clever name. A bit too intellectual, maybe. I don't know.
Well, I was looking at your logo, too, and this probably is really obscure, but I was wondering... I looked at that the other day, and I was like, I wonder if there's any kind of secret message in the logo, because remember Dio, when you turned his upside down, it said devil?
Mm-hmm. But did it? No?
Did you know that?
No,
yeah,
I
if you
didn't.
look at
I
Dio
had no
and
idea.
you flip it upside down, it says
My
devil.
God.
Because Dio is God in Italian, and upside down it's devil. You have to check into that.
Well, I'm sure you can find all kind of devilish shit in McDonald's logotype too. If not for, No,
right.
but the logotype, of course, it's got its, we like subtle messages and mysticism. So that that goes with the voodoo stuff too, of course.
Just taking all that good
Mystique, I mean, whatever we can get.
yeah. How was it working with Dave Grohl?
Wonderful. Actually, their headquarters remind me of this place, at least the whole patio here. Mm-hmm. So I got happy getting reminded of that. It was a beautiful... We were there for like a week, and his energy is such a positive one, and he's such a nice human being. At least what I saw. Mm-hmm. I wouldn't know what he's like.
Yeah, he seems like he would be.
He's very nice, and it was, it was fun. He's a great musician too.
Did you? I was going to ask you, what did he contribute? I know he played. Didn't he play drums on the Marionette song?
He played drums for a couple of songs, and he played a rhythm guitar piece that I can nail. I'm too spastic for some other parts, but he had to play that one, and he was more than welcome to. And he played some rhythm guitar, some percussion. I'm not sure if he sang some harmonies. I don't think he did. Now I'm not sure. And I wouldn't be able to hear it now because it's, it grew on me to an extent, where I can no longer feel the stuff apart,
after a while you kind of forget. Was it recorded on the Sacred Sound City recording console?
Yes, indeed.
Oh,
it was.
Man. And talk about ghosts. Think about the ghosts in that machine. How was that? I mean, just working with that piece of machinery.
I wanted to kiss the Tom Petty signature on that board, but I shouldn't. It's got bacteria on it. Let's put it that way.
Yeah.
No, but I'm not too interested in technical aspects at all. Personally, the other boys, some of them really are. But when I saw that table, of course, with Fleetwood Mac and whatnot, so to us it was thrilling.
Yeah, that's amazing. Yeah. I think that's awesome. And I'm a big fan of Rocky Erickson. Mm-hmm. Not a lot of people know about Rocky Erickson, doesn't seem like. Maybe you guys will expose him to a wider audience. But whose idea was it to cover his song? So it made you choose from.
I'm sorry? Yeah, no, but that song, we used to cover that song in another band we had years ago, like 10 years ago, and so it was one of us, to put it that way. I can tell you, it was one of us. Who
and I was going to say what was behind, there was mental illness behind the writing. That was the underlying, Rocky's underlying theme. Have you seen that documentary about?
I haven't.
There's a great documentary about him. And then I just really had one more thing I was going to say. Papa says he digs Sinatra on the Vegas propaganda video. Yeah. Perhaps we'll hear a ghostified jazz standard in the future. Bewitched,
Well,
Devil Moon, or
Well, I mean, we got a few, knowing, a few of the musicians in the band are certainly up for playing jazz. I'm
Yeah.
not one of them. I can't stand, especially that stressful jazz, that New York City traffic jazz. No, it doesn't work at all. No, maybe so. I don't know.
I love the fact that you guys all have so many different influences, and that's what makes you so unique. I teach guitar, and I always tell my punk students, if all you learn is punk music, then you're a conformist. You're not a punk.
Yeah, I know
all.
what you're saying.
You know what I
Exactly.
mean?
That's my take on it too.
Yeah, you
preaching
gotta,
for the preached. I mean, what
yeah,
to sell?
That's right.
Talking about
Just
revolution.
a pale imitation of something that's already come before you.
Exactly. No.
Well, that's our 15 minutes. I didn't. I brought you a gift though. This is a transcription I did for solo guitar of the entire Igor Stravinsky's Rite of Spring. And I don't know if you're familiar with the Rite of Spring, but it is one very dark piece of music.
Wow. Is it sheet music?
I put it in tab too.
Wow, that's good because I don't.
Yeah.
Music.
That way you can.
Did you do this?
I did that. Yeah.
Then you must be a kick-ass guitarist.
I give you one of my glow-in-the-dark sticks in my email on there.
Thanks.
But yeah.
We'll be sure to send you Ghost rendition of this by the end of the week.
Yeah. Well, I will say that a lot of it I don't think is could be played up to tempo.
Yeah,
you know what I
actually,
mean?
yeah.
But my whole thing was are you familiar with the piece?
No,
The
actually
Rite of
not.
Spring?
No, I never listened to Stravinsky at all.
If you listen, that is like one of the darkest pieces of music that was ever written. Like all horror music soundtrack comes from that. You know what I mean? And I just had to know how to play it on guitar, and I couldn't find it anywhere. So I was like, I guess I'm going to have to do it myself.
It's a great idea. Why not? I mean, why not?
Yeah, so I figure if you're on the road, you want something to...
Where are you from? You're not from LA, right? Or are you?
No, I'm originally from the Midwest, and I moved out to California about 9 years ago to fulfill my Sunset Strip dreams. And then I actually switched to jazz about 5 years ago, and kind of became a bit of a jazz snob because I went so deep into the music, and that's what I like so much about... I've been listening to every music that comes out, but then when you guys hit the scene, I was like, man, there's someone who's, taking rock to a new place.
Yeah, but it's us mimicking.
But all my favorite stuff.
Yeah, but it's us mimicking rock history, what we liked and what we wanted to hear, more of and whatnot.
So I really, I can't tell you how much I appreciate you guys.
I appreciate you saying that.
Sparking the interests of rock and roll, getting my rock and roll blood pumping again, you know what I mean?
I'm going to play like shit today because you're in the office.
Oh, no, dude. Yeah. I'm excited. I'm ready to see. I've been looking forward to seeing you guys all year.